Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to talk about the Deadpool 2 2-pack with Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Deadpool himself. So let's get started. I don't normally review Marvel Legends. I don't actually have a crazy amount of like the movie stuff, but I do enjoy the Deadpool movie. I really did. So this was an easy pickup for me. And I think first we're going to talk about Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who was a comic character, then was renamed for the comics after the movie came out because it was popular enough to do that. And I actually like the look that they gave her in the movie, and it pretty much fits. It's a sleek X-like outfit. I don't remember if this is right or not. I honestly don't remember. But I think the head sculpt is actually pretty well done for a legend. Yes, it's not perfect, but it is pretty well done. I do like the head sculpt too. I like this hairstyle. I'm a big fan of it. And then we have our standard Marvel Legends women's bodies that we normally get those single joints. And hers come up about the same size you would, the same range as you would expect at 90 degrees as they rotate out. Our head can go up and go backwards. She uses more of the older articulation. Head could look down. So she has a lot more range in terms of the neck, in terms of some of the other movie stuff, like Tank Top Logan. We can rotate the arm around. We have a swivel here. It is single jointed. And we have a horizontal joint. Our arms go up so we can make the T-pose. And as far as ab crunch, we have little to none going forward. So it's almost non-existent going forward. Backwards, we can go backwards a little bit. And we can tilt a little side to side. It's a little bit of a bummer because I would like her to be able to do more. But she can look pretty decent in a running pose, which is good for what she does technically in the movie. So let's say you wanted to do some sort of running pose. Let's get this up before we talk about the legs. So posing her up to look pretty cool, like right here, doesn't look terrible. It really doesn't, especially when getting poses like this. Now, as far as anything like kicking, anything like that, let's test out those legs. So we can go about this far out. We do have a thigh swivel. Our legs are double jointed, as you saw. And we have a boot cut, which is actually pretty nice. We have that standard, really good Marvel Legends foot articulation. So, I don't know. I'm a little conflicted because not being able to technically move that ab section forward kind of changes a lot. So you can't get really dynamic with her. But you can get decent poses. I would like for women's bodies to be as articulated as males. Even if you're going to give them the single joint, there's a lot of other places that you can still give them dynamic posing. As you can see, I have Deadpool in the background, and he's pretty much posed up really well. And I know, obviously, he was the big moneymaker here. But I just want to see the same effort be applied to other characters, even if they are lesser characters. Now, we're going to finish going over her by just putting her over to the side. She's done for right now. Let's talk about your main man, Wade Wilson, Deadpool. The freak in the sheets, right? So he looks pretty good. Just straight up like this, posed up, looking really nice. So let's get him standing straight up. Actually, this is actually just fine. So we can leave him like this. And as you can see, he can pose up pretty well. He uses that new neck joint technology, which I do believe, I don't know. I'm a fan of it aesthetically, but articulation wise, it kind of sucks because as I pop this ball joint off, you see it pretty much eliminates the same neck movement that she had where she can look down completely. So my main man Wade can't do that. Can't do that at all. So looking down is not an option. He can look somewhat down, but not down. Looking up is as well too. So while aesthetically pleasing, this is fantastic, but it's terrible for articulation. Hopefully that range can just change just enough for us to pretty much go, hey, we can add something or change it. Maybe add a longer peg joint to swivel in and out of the circle, or allow a slit there to allow the head to go forwards and backwards. Maybe that can help. Hopefully it does. The harness sits down really nice. Sometimes it's going to ride up. Depending on what you do, you can just gently push it back down. The guns are actually glued to the sides. I actually removed mine. These are normally not removable. They are glued, but I did remove mine. One came out very easily with hot water. The other one, I was not so successful with hot water and I actually ended up damaging the paint job just a little bit. Let's see if we can see that. So yeah, damaged the paint job just a little bit, but it's still usable. I can just slightly and gently repaint over it. But yeah, as far as our articulation goes, go for the rest of the body. It's actually really great. We actually have an excellent Lifting up of the arms, we have a bicep swivel. We have double joints. We have our horizontal pegs, no vertical ones. We have an excellent ab crunch going forward. And we have a nice crunch going backwards. But let me rotate him back around, as you can see. Because Deadpool's weird like that. You can actually rotate his body around and, murder him, and he'd just come right back. Our legs can go forward. We have our thigh swivel. It's going to be a little hindered because the gun will obviously get in the way, so you can't rotate them all the way in. We have a double joint. Now, you got to be careful with the double joint just a little bit. You can actually, there we go. Because of this brace on both legs, this is going to obviously hinder a little bit of your articulation when you bend the legs. So keep that in mind. And as far as our foot pivot, standard Marvel Legends, luxury peg, I should say. So overall, Deadpool is obviously the breadwinner here. He has more points in range and more accessories. But that's obviously what you bought this pack for, right? You didn't buy it for Teenage Warhead. But I was hoping people would. I like to support that kind of stuff. Now, getting this guy all posed up is actually pretty easy. As you saw him posed up pretty much on the back of my water machine, thanks to Shadow Moses. So like I said, this guy is easily posable. The only thing that would have made this even better was more head scopes. Oh, and the knife and swords are removable. I added those on, but let me not mess around. Let's jump into the accessories, as I've sat there and rambled on to you guys for like 5 minutes or whatever. So let's jump to accessories, y'all. Now, accessory-wise, Negasonic Teenage Warhead is a little bit on the lighter side, while Deadpool gets more accessories. So let's do her first. So you will get, dropped it. You'll actually get an open set palm of hands, right? And then you will get 2 effect parts for her, for when she's charging up her kinetic energy for what she does, right? And then for Deadpool, we actually have our knife that we see here down the bottom. This is actually removable. And mine is probably really locked in there. There we go. So the knife is removable. I'm going to take that out. And we have our 2 katanas, which you saw on the back of his holsters, which I actually forgot to take out this entire time. But we actually have those as well, too. So let me take those and leave those out. And then we have other accessories. So here we have our handguns for Deadpool. Oop, I'm always dropping stuff. Now, you'll get 2 sets and types of gloves. Now, we have the open palms here. The open palms have the regular black outline on the back. And some of you will notice that he has silver ones as well, too. So for the closed fist, you'll get black outlines, right? And for everything else, you will get silver gloves. That was because even though he wore the same costume in both movies, the gloves are the thing that changed. So we'll actually get the katana holding hands and knife holding hand. These will get the silver back on the back of the gloves. And for the trigger hands, we get silver on the back of the gloves. If you want to paint yours all the way through, you can. But I think that's something that they kind of threw in for everybody, where the difference is, technically the same suit, but different color gloves, right? And I think it was silver tips on the bottom of the shoes. I'm not necessarily sure if I remember that part. But without further ado, let's now jump into the size comparisons and compare these guys up with a few other lines, as well as some other Marvel Legends. So let's get to it. All right, size time, we're going to square them up. First, I'm going to compare it to the Fox stuff I do have, as well as some other Marvel Legends, and then size them up with some other lines so you guys can see what you're getting into. So real quick, here is Tank Top Logan. And as you can see, Tank Top Logan is taller than both of them, stands at a pretty decent height. He's up there. I believe movie Logan is like crazy tall, while comic Logan is obviously really short. So hopefully, we'll see how it turns out in the movie verse for Deadpool 3. Hopefully we see Hugh Jackman return, even if it's just a cameo. Here is Thanos Cable with a custom cape on him. And he's up there too in terms of height. He has tiny boots, but I think it works out. So Cable and Deadpool are a decent height. Logan, I think maybe because his head is bigger, but also he's just got a bigger body too. So yeah, let's remove these 2. We all know Negasonic Teenage Warhead is a young X-Men in training, so I get her height. It actually works out. Here is Domino. I think she's a really good height. Works out really well with these guys. Here is a comic Colossus, just in case you want to have him as a stand-in for what you already got going on in your Deadpool universe, or you want to make a custom. But body-wise, I think he's up there in the perfect height. Here is a comic Deadpool to compare with your movie Deadpool. And I think these guys actually are a really good height with each other. And actually it's a really good color swap. One is bright red, one is not. And if we're looking at smaller bodies, I really do like that magic works out really well with Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Ooh, she's a little wobbly, so I'm just gonna put it next to her. She's only barely taller than her. So let's remove all these guys. And now we're gonna compare it up with some other lines so we can get these two compared up. So yeah. Let's do a G.I. Joe and a Power Ranger. So here we are with Storm Shadow, who I've been using a lot lately in size comparisons for G.I. Joe. Here we are with a Dino Thunder Red Ranger. Then we're going to do an S.H. Figuarts Kamen Rider Kuga, as we square it with a bunch of other lines. And as you can see, most domestics work out pretty well with Deadpool and Negasonic. As far as imports go, obviously most of them are smaller, unless you count like the Mafik stuff, which is definitely a 6-inch scale. Next up, we're going to do an articulated icons. So here is an icons articulated ninja. Then we have, oh, let's do Mezco Me. So here we go. Then we'll do a Mythic Legions. So ninjas work out pretty well. Mythic Legions, a little bit on the bigger side. Mezco seem to work out if you have like the Gomez body. They'll look pretty decent. Probably Batman be a little bit bigger if you're gonna do Batman versus Deadpool or Deathstroke. So you want to get that crossover fun. Here is a 1000 Toys synthetic carb. Let's not get you moonwalking. Let's get you standing straight up. And then last but not least, I'm going to throw in Final Battle Kazuya. So you can see that the Storm stuff is gigantic. It towers over everyone else. Big beefy toys, right? So I really like where these guys are. They're a really great size. Both of them work out pretty well. I think Negasonic Teenage Warhead has a lot to be desired. But obviously, most people are going to buy this for Deadpool. But I do really like the Negasonic Teenage Warhead face sculpt. I think it's really done well as the hair too. So maybe modding it up so you can add a little bit of extra articulation. I can have some fun with that. But yeah, it seems to be pretty nice for a 2-pack set. But again, it's really going to decide on what you want. One thing I did forget to talk about, I'm going to toss this in there, is I forgot about this unicorn. I really and truly did forget about it. It was, I just forgot about it. I don't know why. So I'm throwing this in here at the end. It's not like you haven't seen 8 million other people's reviews about it anyway. But yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative. Hope you enjoyed the photos at the end, guys, as always. So thank you so much for always watching. Please be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.